Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. How's everyone doing? How is everyone doing? How you all doing? I'm always excited to be here because every day I wake up, I thank God for the privilege that I have because I don't think I'm worthy. I don't think I deserve it. I think I'm just like, God just simply give me another chance to be awake today. And why should I thank him? Why should I praise him? And because many people went to sleep and didn't wake up this morning, but I am blessed enough, not because they were not blessed, not because they were not worthy, but for a reason or another they did not wake up this morning. We have been on a 21-day health and wellness series. We talk about many different topics, and there's one topic. Every time I came across that topic to speak on it, I skip it and move it down and move it down and move it down because I'm like, no, I'm not ready to speak on that one yet. No, because I'm not ready to address that one yet. And because I know sometimes it's hard for us to do certain things. It's hard for us to sometimes forgive and forget. Sometimes we say, I will forgive you, but I will never forget what you did. Right? Because I guess not forgetting is maybe a reminder on how to deal with that person, or it's just the pain is so great that you can tell the person that I forgive you and I will not forget what you did. You forgive the person, but not the action. So today, I've decided to speak on that. Because we have so much going on. There's so much pain. There's so much hurt in the world that maybe sometimes it's hard for us to forgive and forget. Last week, I was at the United Nations. July 12 was recently reserved by the United Nations as the International Day of Hope. It was voted by 161 vote that it's going to be the International Day of Hope. And yesterday, I spoke on hope. My talk was about hope, having hope. But I think hope, having hope, and forgiveness kind of work together because if I have hope to move on with you, if I'm hoping to move forward with you, but yet you did something so painful that hurt me so badly that I haven't been able to forgive you, what happened to the hope that we have to move on, to move forward? Because not forgiving that person is always going to be pulling you back, and everything you're hoping to accomplish, everything you're hoping to do will suffer along the way. You might be able to accomplish them, but it might take you longer because the pain is still there and it keeps pulling you back. So today we're going to be talking about forgiveness is freedom. The courage, having the courage to let go and heal, right? We need to have the courage to let go so we can heal. I share this with you. My mom and my dad, they were married, but when my dad came over here, things happened and they ended up being separated. My mom never remarried. She's still waiting on my dad. And every chance she gets, all she can talk about is my dad. To be honest, sometimes I'm like, Mom, you need to move on. You need to let go, right? You need to move on. You need to let go. But I guess my dad was possibly her one true love, the person that she really loved, the person that she hoped to spend the rest of her life with. And I think she never had the closure that she needs from him to move on, because the hope, she still has hope that one day she will bring back her family together, because I think she's still living in the time where she's thinking maybe we are still 8, 7, 9. I don't remember how old I was when my father traveled, but I'm sure I was very young. Maybe I was 7, 8 years old, and my youngest sister was a baby. So that's how long that my father's been traveling. And I've been here in the United States for maybe 34 years. So my mom and dad have been separated at least 37 years. Yet she's still waiting. It's either that she hasn't had the courage. I don't think she healed herself. She's not healed. She's still waiting. She's still waiting. But we need to have the courage to let go so we can heal. When we talk about forgiveness, forgiveness is a radical act of self-liberation. We need to learn how to liberate ourselves. One of the greatest gifts I tell people that God gave me is the power to forgive you and forget all about you. It's that, I forgive you and I'm like, forget. I don't know if that's a good thing, because the good thing is, when something happened, once I have the opportunity to express myself, I release everything. The only time I feel frustrated and angry is when I'm unable to express myself, or the opportunity is not given to me to express myself, to let the person know what you did was wrong. And it just stays and eat me inside until I get to release it, right? Because we need to learn to release certain things so we can let it go. So if someone did something to you, let's say, for example, someone did something to you, but the person did something to you, but the person have no idea what's going on, but yet you are angry with this person and you're holding this person up, and this person is like, I have no idea what's going on. We need to learn to communicate, to let people know when they do something that is hurtful, when they do something to you that you don't appreciate. So if it's something that could be corrected, then they can correct it. Then you can forgive and move on. Forgiveness means you choosing to release the heavy chain of anger. We just need to release it, to let it go, to remove, to release the resentment, because sometimes we end up being resentful towards someone and the person has no idea what's going on, and the pain that keeps you trapped in the past, the pain just keeps you trapped there, and you're resentful, you're angry. And sometimes the worst thing is, I think, you can pretend that you're with the person, but deep down inside of you, there's something eating you up that you cannot let go. So you must learn to practice, to free your heart and mind, to live fully, and to embrace peace, joy, growth, forgiveness. You need to live freely. And for you to be able to embrace these things, for you to be able to embrace peace, for you to be able to embrace joy, for you to be able to grow. When you ask for forgiveness, sometimes we think when we ask for forgiveness, or when you say I'm sorry, or when you go and apologize to somebody, you think it's a sign of weakness. Saying you're sorry is not a sign of weakness. Saying you're sorry is a profound strength and a source of healing. Let me say that again. Saying you're sorry is not a sign of weakness. Saying you're sorry is a profound strength and a source of healing. It's a profound strength and a source of healing. So it's okay to say you're sorry. It's okay to ask for forgiveness. It's okay. Because when you say you're sorry, you're freeing yourself. You're getting the courage. Then that means you have the courage to let go. And in that process, you'll be able to heal. So let's talk about our key points for today. The first one is the true power of forgiveness. What is the true power of forgiveness? Forgiveness is a conscious, it's a courageous decision to release yourself from the bondage of bitterness and suffering. Let me say that to you again. Forgiveness is a conscious, courageous decision to release yourself from the bondage of bitterness and suffering. Because when you are unable to forgive someone, you have this tightness in your chest, and you're angry, you bitter, you suffering. So learn to release yourself from the bondage of bitterness and suffering by forgiving the person. When you forgive someone, it doesn't justify, or it does not excuse nor justify the harm done to you. The person did hurt you, right? But it sets you free from being defined by the pain. The most important thing is to not allow the pain to define you. Forgiving is a gift that you give to yourself. When you forgive somebody who hurt you, you're giving yourself a gift. Because when you carry the anger, it only weighs you down emotionally, mentally, and even physically. As I said earlier, if someone does something to me and I'm unable to express or to release the anger that I feel inside, the pain, the hurt, it takes me a good 2-3 days for me to return it back to my normal self, because it's there. It's weighing me down emotionally. It's weighing me down physically. It's weighing me mentally to a point that my body is not functioning to the level that it should. So forgiving is, when you forgive someone, you're giving yourself a gift to release, to release emotionally, to release mentally, and to release physically. You're releasing yourself from the bondage, from the bitterness and the suffering. The second key point is about forgiveness is the weight tolls of holding on. The heavy toll of holding on. Do you know how much it costs you to hold someone here? I've decided last year that I will not allow anyone to live rent-free here or here. Because when we're carrying the pain, the hurt, the anger, sometimes the person you're angry with is living their best life. They have no idea that you're angry with them. But yet you allow them to live rent-free here while you're hurting. You allow them to live rent-free here where you can function, you cannot do the things that you want to do because you're so angry, you're so bitter. You're just allowing it to weigh you down, and it keeps pushing you down. It keeps pushing you down while you're sitting there and the person is living their best life. So the heavy toll of holding on. Let's talk about that. When you're holding on to grudges, resentment, or guilt, it's like carrying a backpack full of rocks because you feel so heavy. It drains your energy, it clouds your clarity, and it steals your joy. Let me say that again. When you're holding on to grudges, when you are resentful or guilt, it's like carrying a backpack full of rocks, and it drains your energy, it clouds your clarity, and it steals your joy. So today I'm inviting you to remove that backpack with those heavy bricks, whoever you're holding on, whoever you have a grudge against, to find a way to let go and release. And inside that backpack, put in positivity, put in joy, put in peace, put in love, put in happiness. Remove those heavy rocks that weighs you down and fill it up with all positivity that can lift you up and bring you back up. Forgiveness contributes to unforgiveness, when you are unable to forgive somebody, it contributes to chronic stress, anxiety, depression, and even physical ailment. It traps you in a cycle of pain and trauma. When you are unable to forgive somebody, it causes you to have chronic stress. That's why you have anxiety, you feel like you're having palpitation, and you feel depressed, and your body feels so tired, and you don't want to do things, you don't want to talk to people, you don't want to go anywhere, because it's draining you. It traps you in a cycle of pain and trauma. So like I said that last week, relax, relate, and release. Release the anger, release the pain, release the hurt, so you can move on, you can move forward, okay? When you forgive, you break this cycle and reclaim your power to create a life of freedom. People ask me, why are you always smiling? Where was I the other day? I was somewhere, and the person said, oh my goodness, you're so beautiful. Look at you. Oh, I went to my storage unit, and the lady at the desk, she's like, oh my God, look at you. You're smiling. Every time you come here, you're always happy. You're always smiling. And that day, believe you and me, I was having a horrible day. I said, my darling, guess what? I have harsh days. I have terrible days. I'm going through things right now. But guess what? I am not going to allow it to weigh me down, to take away my joy, to take away my happiness. Okay, for me to be bitter and angry, because whatever's happening, I can control it. It already happened. I can choose to either stay in the moment or move on. So I'm gonna put a smile on my face. I'm gonna smile. I'm gonna be happy, because when you smile, you release. You're releasing the stress, you're releasing the anxiety, you're releasing the anger, right? That's why my face looks so young and beautiful, because I'm always smiling. So smiling is exercising the muscles on my face that keeps me looking young and beautiful, right? So smile, put a smile on your face. Yeah, things are going to happen. It all depends on what you do next. It depends on what you do next. Are you gonna stay in that pain, that hurts, that drains you, that drains you physically, that drains you emotionally, that clouds your clarity? Or are you going to forgive and break these cycles and reclaim your power to create a life of freedom? I create a life of freedom. Anything that caused me hurt and pain, I look at you and I smile. I say, the devil? Oh, no. Not today. Not today, not tomorrow, not any other day. Because my mental health, my well-being, my physical well-being, my emotional well-being, I'm in charge of it. So I am not going to allow anyone to live rent-free here or here. If you're not coming with a basket of positivity, a basket of peace, a basket of joy, stay where you are, because I have no room for it. Okay? The third key point is the path to forgiveness begins with him. The path to forgiveness begins with him. Forgiving others can only begin when you learn to forgive yourself. Sometimes we're also hard on ourselves because we feel like we should have seen it coming. We should have known this person was no good. We should have known about this person X, Y, and Z. Why we put ourselves in that position for us to be hurt. We saw the sign. You find many reasons to be angry with yourself. But guess what? You cannot forgive someone who hurt you until you forgive yourself. You must learn to forgive yourself first, to embrace your imperfection, to embrace your mistake, mistakes as part of your humanity and growth. Forgive yourself. Embrace your imperfection, because we are not perfect. We make mistakes, but these mistakes, we learn from them, because as part of your it's part of your humanity and your growth. Okay, so if you think you're gonna be inside of a bubble where no one can get to you, you can try, because I know I've tried. It didn't work. It does not work. It doesn't work. There will always be a way for that thing to infiltrate that space that you're trying to protect so much. But guess what? When that actually happens, forgive yourself and then move on. Move on. Self-forgiveness, when you talk about self-forgiveness, it's a radical act of self-love that allows you to move forward. Let's say that again. When you talk about self-forgiveness, it is a radical act of self-love that allows you to move forward with compassion and understanding, not self-shame or regret. Okay? Not shame or regrets. Self-forgiveness is a radical act of self-love that allows you to move forward with compassion and understanding, not shame or regret. Oh my God, I regret I did this, or I'm so I'm so ashamed of myself. No. Move forward with compassion and understanding. Okay, this is self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness. Forgive yourself. Don't stay in that moment where you were hurt and you stay in that pain. Forgive yourself and move on. Okay? Let's talk about harnessing the healing power of journaling. It is good to journal, to write down your feelings, to write down your pain, because when you write down your feeling, it's a powerful tool to release pent-up emotion. It clarifies your thought and you gain perspective. It's okay to write things down. Journal it. If you're not the type of person who like to speak to other people, who like to share your feelings, who like to share your emotion, learn to write it down. That way, you're releasing the pent-up emotions. You're clarifying your thoughts and you're gaining perspective on whatever the situation is. Use journal prompts to dig deep. Okay? When you write in your journal, use journal prompts to dig deep. Okay? So for example, you can say, what pain am I holding on to? And how does it affect me? You can write that down. What pain am I holding on to? And how does it affect me? Does it affect you emotionally, mentally? It could affect you financially too, because some of us, when we get hurt, we feel hurt, we suffer, and we feel like the best way to do is to go out, go shopping, spend some money, feel like, oh, I'm buying this for myself to make me feel good, and then later on you're looking at yourself, you're like, oh my goodness, what did I do? Right? So what pain are you holding on to? And how does it affect you? The next thing you should ask yourself, what would it feel like to release this burden? That's the next question you should ask yourself. And the third one you can ask is, how can forgiveness open my heart to peace and freedom? Ask yourself that. How can forgiveness open my heart to peace and freedom? When you journal, it creates a sacred space for honest expression and intentional healing. When you journal, it creates a sacred space for honest expression and intentional healing. Okay? The fifth one is meditation. Opening the heart to compassion. When you do guided meditation, it invites you to gently witness your emotion without judgment and cultivate compassion for yourself and others. Also, when you use visualization techniques, it helps you to imagine letting go of the heavy burdens and filling your hearts with light, peace, and love. And the last one for that key point when it comes to meditation is regular mindfulness practice strengthens your ability to choose forgiveness over resentment. Let's say that again. Regular mindfulness practice strengthens your ability to choose forgiveness over resentment. The sixth one in this section, the sixth key point that we're covering today is forgiveness is freedom. Forgiveness is your path to liberation. Let's say that again. Forgiveness is freedom, and forgiveness is your path to liberation. True freedom comes when you stop being a prisoner of your past wounds and start living in the present with an open heart. When you forgive, it empowers you to reclaim your life, your energy, and your joy. It enables deeper connection, personal growth, and inner peace. Let me say that to you again. Forgiveness empowers you to reclaim your life, your energy, and joy. It enable deeper connection, personal growth, and inner peace. Okay, so this is the section when we talk about forgiveness is freedom, your path to liberation. And as I always share with you, I'm going to share this positive affirmation with you, and then we'll go into our daily practice. For your positive affirmation today, you're going to say, I courageously release all the way me down. Let's say that again. I courageously release all the weighs me down. I forgive myself and others, and in doing so, I reclaim my peace, power, and freedom. I apologize. I am worthy of healing and joy. Write that down. Let's say it again. I courageously release all the weighs me down. I forgive myself and others, and in doing so, I reclaim my peace, power, and freedom. I am worthy of healing and joy. Okay, that's your daily affirmation for that, for forgiveness. For your daily practice, okay, I'm going to encourage you to engage in a transformational forgiveness ritual today. So here's the first thing. The first thing you're going to do, you're going to write a forgiveness letter. You're going to write a heartfelt letter to someone you need to forgive or to yourself. As a matter of fact, write one to yourself first, because in order for you to forgive someone else, you need to forgive yourself first. So write a letter of forgiveness to yourself. And then the second thing you're going to do, you're going to write a letter of forgiveness to someone you need to forgive. You're going to express all your feeling honestly and fully without censoring. Without censoring, yes. You don't have to send it. The fact of writing releases energy and starts healing. You can choose to send the letter, or you can choose to keep it. I'm going to leave that up to you. But you're going to write a letter of forgiveness to yourself first, because you must learn to forgive yourself first. Then you're going to write a letter of forgiveness to someone who did something horrible to you, someone who hurt you, that you're still holding up in here, or in both space. You can choose to send them that letter, or you can hold it to yourself, because doing so will help you to release energy, and with that you will start to heal. Okay, the second thing you're going to do for your daily practice, guided forgiveness meditation. You can use 5 to 10 minutes. Find a quiet space close your eyes and take slow, deep breath. We did some breathing exercise, 4, 4, and 4, and I think we did one 4, 7, 8. You can choose which one. You hold in 4, you inhale, hold 4, exhale, you hold again, you repeat the cycle. Okay, visualizing holding a heavy stone, expressing your pain or resentment. Go take something like you visualizing how heavy the stone is and you holding it. Okay, that stone is representing your pain and resentment that you have towards that someone, for you to see how much weight that you are carrying around with you, you know. And imagine that you take that heavy stone, you put it down, and you feel, oh my goodness, this weight have been lifted off your shoulder. I tell people the best moment in my life is one of the best moments in my life, because guys, if you've been pregnant, you know carrying an extra weight around for 9 months is no joke. Some of them it's good pregnancy, some of them it's not the greatest pregnancy. We have different things, and each baby we have, they're all different. I remember after I had my daughter Abigail, I was like, I felt so relieved because the weight had been lifted. And my kids, all my kids, except for my son because he was a C-section. But after you give birth to your child, it's like the most beautiful feeling. But at the same time, you're like, you feel like you've been relieved. Because that weight, that extra weight is coming off your body. You don't have to carry it around inside of you anymore. It's like, I'm free, right? So this is like one of the best moments I can remember after after my children, they come out of me, and I'm like, it feels so good, right? So think about you taking off that extra weight, you putting it down, how it makes you feel. Picture your heart filling with warm light, compassion, and freedom. Can you imagine that? Just trying to close your eyes and kind of picture it. You're walking. You have this heavy backpack. As you're walking, you're going up the hill. You're getting tired and more tired. You're getting out of breath and you're sweating. And then when you feel like you can't do it anymore, you reach a point and you sit down. And you take that backpack off your shoulder. You put it on the floor. And you take that nice cold bottle of water. And you take a sip. And you're like, it feels so good. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Picture that. So this is what you need to do. Take this person off your heart. Take that heavy weight off your shoulder so that you can be free. The third thing is you're going to reflect and release. Journal about what forgiveness means to you and how it might transform your life. You're going to list at least 3 things about yourself you're willing to forgive. Remember, your self-forgiveness is vital. Affirm out loud. We're going to do this affirmation, and I want you to do it out loud. If you have to go in the bathroom, go in the bathroom. If you need to go into your bedroom, go into your bedroom. Wherever you need to go, you're going to say to yourself, write it down. I am free from the past. I choose peace over pain. I am whole and healing. Let's say it again. I am free from the past. I choose peace over pain. I am whole and healing. Write that down. You can say this out loud. I am free from the past. I choose peace over pain. I am whole and healing. Okay? The fourth thing you're going to do is you're going to commit to compassion. As you move forward, you're going to remind yourself that forgiveness is a process and not a single event. You're going to practice kindness towards yourself and others daily, cultivating patience and understanding. Sometimes we need to be patient with ourselves, and we also need to be understanding with ourselves. So this is what you're going to do. So as we close, I want you to repeat with me. I am free from the past. I choose peace over pain. I am whole and healing. Let's say it again. I am free from the past. I choose peace over pain, and I am whole and healing. So today's topic, we cover forgiveness, the power of forgiveness. We talk about forgiveness and freedom. We talk about the courage to let go so we can heal. So today I'm asking you, whatever it is that is hurting you, that is holding you, that whoever the person is who hurt you that you cannot go sit down, write that letter of forgiveness to yourself, and then write that letter of forgiveness to that person. And then from that, you can release that negative energy so that you can move forward. And then you can really, truly tell yourself, I am free. I am free from the past. I choose peace over pain. I am whole and healing. Again, I thank each and every one of you for joining me, and each and every one of you for sharing this powerful morning talk with a friend, family, or neighbors. Please do like, share, follow, and subscribe. And then I will see you back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. so we can finish our 21-day of health and wellness journey. So I see you tomorrow. And don't forget, as I always end my talk, Jesus loves you. And your number one coach, your favorite coach, Coach Shirley, love you as well. So have a blessed day. Go forgive yourself today. Go start healing. Go take a walk into nature in nature and enjoy nature. Breathe, relax, release, and forgive that person you're holding up in here. That person you're holding up in here. No one should leave here or here rent free. Okay? So go start your healing journey today. And I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on our morning talk. Be blessed. Remember, Jesus loves you. And Coach Shirley love you. Ciao. Bye-bye.